The Elder Scrolls, Episode 2, April 15th, 2016.
Huzzah, adventurers! Welcome to Loot Table, your one source for all things online gaming. With your host, Kylest, Tamlin, Luci, and Flatus. So pull up a chair, adventurers, and share in the loot.
Live from Desert Rain Studios, talking about all things fun and interesting in the world of online video games, connecting gamers with the game they play. This is the Loot Table. I am one of your normal weekly regular hosts, Tamlin. Something didn't get updated there, and because I didn't read that right. I'll have to fix that for next week. So hi guys, how are you?
Good.
I'm fantastic.
Sounds like you're...
I guess nobody likes me.
So with me, I am Tamlin. To my right over here is Flatus. Underneath me is Kylest, and not putting baby in the corner, but over there is Luci.
Hi, everyone.
He certainly likes me under him, doesn't he? 2 episodes in a row.
Well, I mean, if somebody's going to be there, it should be you.
It's true.
You've earned it by right of conquest.
I would like to opt out from all chances of being under him.
I went caveman style.
So happened randomly that, where the videos all went is Kylest is down there. Pure randomness. All right. So moving right on into our patch notes for this second episode of the Loot Table. Hey, Luci, you've got a stream schedule?
Yes. So it's going to be short this week because of the fact that I'm going to PAX East. So I am going to be streaming. Sorry, I'm trying to center my camera. I've been told that I'm not in the center of the thing, and I'm off to the side. But anyway, so I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, and I'm checking my schedule. Tomorrow and Wednesday. So Monday and Wednesday for those of you catching the re-recording.
And speaking of PAX East, if you did not know, PAX East is next weekend, April 22nd through 24th in Boston.
Yep, in Boston. It's in the it's right across the street from the World Trade Center thing. It's in the convention center, the big one.
I want to go.
All right. So moving on to the next bit of patch notes that we have. Flatus, Titanfall 2.
Yep. It's a thing. It's real. Titanfall 2, the teaser. The teaser dropped, which I find odd since EA was doing their own separate show away from E3. A lot of other companies are trying to pull away from E3 because they're not finding it beneficial to them. But they released the teaser for Titanfall 2. We're not going to play you the teaser, not because we don't like to show you teasers and trailers on the show, but I'm going to put the link in chat so you guys can go watch it after the show. It doesn't really show a whole lot, but I think from what I can see in the trailer, or from what I saw in the trailer, one, giant sword. Two, looks like there is definitely going to be a story mode this time around, which I think is a beautiful idea, because if you release a multiplayer game without a story mode, I have some little bit of issues with that. Some, not a lot, just some. Just depends on the game. But links in chat, so you can check that out later. It doesn't really offer a whole much, but Titanfall 2, which was a fun game. So,
all right. Next bit of patch notes that we have is that the Heroes of the Dorm 2016, that is the intercollegiate championship of Heroes of the Storm, just finished up on right after Loot Table last weekend. The winner of this year's Heroes of the Dorm was Arizona State University. They took second place last year, losing to Sanford. Which means that the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions, is now 2-0 in the Heroes of the Dorm. Take that, SEC.
get it.
So, reason we thought that this was pretty important to talk about, not that we don't enjoy talking about esports, is that the Heroes of the Dorm Championship was broadcast live on ESPN2, which means that that's national syndication on live TV. That's normally a step above what we normally consider for esports. So I thought that was pretty significant and worthy of being noticed. Plus, I like taking shots at the SEC.
Just trying to sock it to him a little, kick him.
Because they kick the Pac-12's ass every year in actual football, or college football, not actual football.
Yeah,
because college football isn't actual football.
Well, that's why I meant to say college football. It came out actual football. I don't know why I slipped those two words. I'm Freudian slip of some sort or another. All right, so kicking it over to the next bit of eCast news, Flatus has quite a bit of other video game news that he is going to cover real quick.
It's because that's what we do now. All right, so as we all know, there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming, and of course, there's going to be a new Ghostbusters game. It is a loose tie-in. It's going to be released around the same time as the movie. It looks like a top-down isometric ghost busting probably party game you can play online with your friends. It's going to see a PC, Xbox One, PS4 release. It looks mediocre, much like the movie trailer for the new Ghostbusters. So, I mean, if you like movie tie-ins, there's one. I'm waiting for the Ecto Cooler, High-C Ecto Cooler punch to come back, which they said it was supposed to come back. So that'd probably be my favorite thing about this movie coming. Is
that it brings back the High-C
Ecto Cooler. It's the only thing I'm excited about. This is not a movie podcast, so I don't want to talk about that. I really like all those women, though. They're all really funny. It's that trailers are horrible.
I haven't even watched the trailer, to be honest.
You want to go see a disappointment? The fan trailer is better.
There was something else where the fan trailer was actual better than the actual trailer. But I now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of it. But it's not that uncommon of occurrence these days.
It's still me. Sorry. We started talking about Ghostbusters. I started lost it. For those of anybody who played Nosgoth, the server shut down. Nosgoth was a third-person action game, set a team-based third-person game where it set humans against vampires. One team was vampires and one team were humans, and it was going to be free to play. Square Enix still shut down the servers. It was lost to early access. So this is one of those games that bit the dust, which is kind of sad because it was kind of fun, and I don't think it had a lot of support behind it. I think it was one of those games that could have really like done Square Enix really well in the free to play like third person genre. I just think it was too out of the box for some people because people want guns and not vampires, and it was very medieval. Like you had like
I want
stakes
guns and vampires.
Getting ready for this show. Paradox Interactive just announced their Stellaris game.
I didn't put that on the news. I was going to. I was like, I have a lot of things to talk about.
All right. So do you know what tied that together? Paradox Interactive is the company that bought the World of Darkness IP, and I am dying to get a new World of Darkness game.
I'm totally dying
werewolves.
to get
So funny. Anyway, so that was Stellaris is their newest game. I'm going to see if I can find some information really quick. Gladys, back to you.
Man, you should. I wish I would have known. I would have put the trailer in there. Oh well. And I kind of want, because there's going to be mods, because most Paradox games get mods, and I can't wait for the Star Trek mod. Where was I? All right, so Frozenbyte, the lovely game makers company who make the Trine series, although Trine 1 and 2 fantastic games, Trine 3 slipped a little bit, are making a new game called Shadwen, and I think it is going to be an amazing game. We have the trailer for this one. This one I want people to see. It's short. It's about 1 minute and 20 some odd seconds long. You play an assassin, and I think you should all watch it.
Here goes.
If I bring you along, will you do exactly what I tell you to do?
I will. Are we headed towards your home?
No, we're not going home.
All right, so that was the trailer for Shadowin.
Yeah, Shadwen. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't know. It looks so beautiful. I love the elegance of her swinging with the ropes.
It looked all acrobatic, and I was like, "Oh, that looks kind of neat." And then she landed on the guy with her back.
Fans of the genre have a ton to look forward to.
My
That's
kind
why
of
today
girl.
Game Ranks is
Oh,
bringing
it's
you
so
horror
awesome.
games
I-
of
I-
2016.
Murder ballet.
Number 10,
Yay!
What Remains of Edith Finch is a
From
collection
the
of
trailer,
short
I
horror
think,
stories with
from what
only
we
the
can see,
constraint that they
there's
have
gonna
to be
be,
about a
one,
certain
stealth
family,
is
the
very
Finch
important.
family, and that they're played
Two, it
from
looks
the
like
first
chain
person.
kills,
Beyond
like
that,
the
the
ability
gameplay
to
could vary
try to kill
widely
multiple,
between
take
them,
out
and the
as many
stories
guys as
apparently do.
once,
Each of the
in
stories
one-
ends
in
in a
one
death,
hit,
so
possible.
well, we know that it's
Also,
not going
I
to
think
be
there's
a
the
happy
mechanic of
game.
also
It seems really
the little girl as well. Where you get to like where you can't access areas. She slipped through the opening of a gate. So I think that playing both of them is going to be very important, and I think their relationship is going to be the story of the game. So I would like that.
Is anybody else disturbed by the little girl with knives in her hand?
I don't think she has knives at all. I think that
I thought she did.
No, only
Okay.
no, she's just
Still.
tagging along. I think she's more of the watching over her, and that's
Here, come watch me while I slit this guy's throat.
yeah. Well, oppression. I'm being repressed. So yeah, a little bit of Batman Arkham meets Assassin's Creed is probably where I'd put it. But Frozenbyte does great, beautiful work, and I'd like to see this. And last but not least, sometimes April Fool's jokes come alive,
True.
and sometimes you get them in the form of pandas, and sometimes you get them in the form of 80s horror movies, such as that happens in Dark Souls 3 instance. Dark Souls 3 had fake 80s movie horror art, and it made it look like the Dark Souls series was an 80s horror movie, and I thought that was really great. And so did the creators of the game. And then what they did was release that art as a alternative cover for the game that you can print out and slide into your box art cover for the game. And I will have the link and put that in chat. I think it just looks cool. And it's a PDF, so you can just go grab it, and it looks awesome. So you guys enjoy that. I think it's really cool when companies do like little things where people are like, that looked really awesome, and they give it out for free. So yeah, Dark Souls 3 talk. No, just Dark Souls 3 cover art talk, and it's just news. So but that's it. That's all we got for news. I don't see anything. Anyone else? Maybe Talon?
Yeah,
Maybe
I got one more. Atlas Reactor is a simultaneous turn-based strategy game from Treon. They are currently in their closed beta. If you were in any variation of their open or closed alpha test, you should be able to get into the game right now. But if not, you can buy into the closed beta for $10, which also nets you $10 of the in-game currency. The game will be free to play when it launches, but it's kind of like a MOBA like Heroes of the Storm or League of Legends, Dota 2, which are all free to play, but then you can buy skins and taunts and stuff like that. It is a current one of my favorite games. I think that it's probably the second or third most game I played this week. But if you want to get in, Atlas Reactor, open up your Glyph launcher, and there it will be.
And BlizzCon tickets go on sale in 3 days?
Yeah. BlizzCon tickets on Wednesday at 10 o'clock? 7 o'clock Pacific time, something like that. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, I think is what it was.
And then again on the 23rd, which is Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're doing that staggered. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. If you guys end up getting an extra ticket, let me know so I can watch the weekend. Let me remind me to talk to you guys after.
Sure.
All right.
All right. So kicking it over to the main talking point for this week's loot table, talking about the Elder Scrolls. We wanted to talk about the Elder Scrolls because it's probably one of the most successful RPG franchises that are out there. It's mostly known for their offline solo RPGs, but there is also the Elder Scrolls Online, which is the MMO based on their franchise. One quick note about the Elder Scrolls Online is that it is developed by ZeniMax, and this is their only game. The rest of the Elder Scrolls is developed by Bethesda, which you should know from, like Fallout, and I'm blanking here. What other games has Bethesda done? Dishonored, wasn't that theirs?
Yes, they did Dishonored, and they also have done the Fallout series.
So my experience with the Elder Scrolls franchise, unfortunately, most of the games that Bethesda has put out for the Elder Scrolls came out while I was active duty military or wasn't really playing video games, because I was in 96 for the next 5 years. I wasn't playing any video games because I was so busy doing other stuff. But I do kind of remember playing Elder Scrolls Arena back when it first came out. Just like, I have no memory of it. This was so many years ago. But I did buy Skyrim, and I played it for a little bit. I got through the introduction and the character creator, and I think that all of us are in consensus that without mods, the character creation for Skyrim now looks rather dated.
Oh, it did when you made a character.
Did you download the high res pack?
I didn't download any packs.
Couldn't even
All right.
find it.
It's on I will link it. Yeah, actually, that screenshot that is behind us is from the high res pack. You can tell because the trees look like trees. It looks very beautiful. When you download the high res, there's a stark difference between the high res pack and the regular version of Skyrim. Just a big, massive difference.
I'm gonna be really upset though if I download that and then get in game, my character looks like some sort of horrible monster.
Potato. You log in, you're like, oh, it's a potato. Not to mention, there's also mods now that increase the graphics beyond the point of the high res pack too. So.
I don't know about you guys, but I just checked and I have logged 99 hours into Skyrim.
So, what is your take? What is your experience with Skyrim?
As a disclaimer, I mostly played the during the time before and after my wisdom tooth surgery, where I was on pain medication. So my recollection of a lot of the quests and things are a little fuzzy. So I enjoyed the fact that it didn't matter which way I picked to play, it all seemed viable. My first character I made was archery and stealth based and alchemy based. So I had poisons, I had stealth, and I had bow and arrow, and that was so much fun. So much fun. I took so many screenshots of like arrows sticking out of like bandits, like I would shoot them like right in the bum and the arrow would like stick straight out, and I'm like, how did I kill you by shooting you in the butt?
Had that major butt artery.
Super butt artery, I guess. But that was fun. And then recently I rolled a character and I'm playing a high elf mage, and I still feel like a badass. So I still feel like able to kill the monsters and able to like play, even though my play style is like extremely different from the first time that I played. And the other thing that I really like about Skyrim is the freeform way to level up your character. So you pick either magicka, health, or stamina when you level up, and then that stat levels, and those are your three main stats. And then as you use a skill, that skill goes up. And then when you hit certain points on that skill, you can choose to put points into that skill specifically. So you can like get cooler abilities. Like one of the abilities I really liked on my bow and arrow character was the ability to zoom in, so you could like aim a little bit better with your bow. And one of the abilities that I discovered on my mage was the ability to dual wield the same spell for like critical hits. So it's just like really cool ways to customize your character that I thought was like just a really fun thing that I could do.
And Flatus, you've played more than this. You're the one that was like, put the helmet on top of them and you just kill them, right?
Yeah, you put the bucket on. It's the old bucket trick. The old dupe trick. The old dupe trick from back in the day. Every Elder Scrolls game has the dupe bug. Even Elder Scrolls Online had the dupe bug. They banned those people. But I played since Morrowind, and I love the series. I think it's great if you love high fantasy and you didn't always have access to MMOs, because you would have access to stuff like Morrowind and Oblivion and now Skyrim. Those games offer something, I think, that sometimes multiplayer games don't offer a whole lot, and it's that deep character customization that we don't get, because there's balancing issues with a lot of online games, because you have to make sure that when you're playing with everyone else. But when you're playing by yourself, they're like, no, have a field day, make whatever you want. If you want to be a battle mage, go make a battle mage. Be a guy that carries a sword and shoots lightning out of their hands. We don't care, as long as you're having fun. Do it. And I think that's what the Elder Scroll games offer, and it's always had that deep quest, and there's like little tropes always with it, but there's that deep like especially now in Skyrim, because it's got that algorithm for infinite like side quests that people are just like run out of the woods and be like, help me, I've got a thing. You're like, okay. And there's so many secrets in the game. Like there's tons and tons and tons of secrets. Like there's a headless horseman in Skyrim that is very rare and very hard to find. And some people find them, and some people have never found them. And this game's still out. And they're like, I know people that have tried to find them, and they're like, I can't. I gave up after 3 months. I couldn't find that bastard because it's rare when it pops up. So it's one of those games where it's like there are hidden epic weapons, and there's stuff you can make. There's crafting. There is, a system for stealing stuff, and there's a thieves guild, and there's so much cool shit to do. And it's such a great story, and sometimes some parts are lame, and sometimes the DLC is okay. It's not great, but it's always fun. It's just like it's always like I can just go into Skyrim, fuck around. I can go catch butterflies if I wanted to go catch butterflies for an hour and pick flowers. You know where to find me. I'll be in Tamriel. I'll be up in the Skyrims.
I should say this, that I've logged in 99 hours into Skyrim, and I have only gotten to the part where you get the second part of your dragon shout. That's how far I completed the main storyline. And it was only until like the ending of that 9 hours that I ever actually, made it up that mountain. I just did side quests and I was so happy.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the main storyline quest it's kind of short. You could probably finish in a couple hours, like maybe 10 or 12, maybe 20 hours if you're really like reading and like looking into the lore and stuff. But you can speed through the main storyline quest. But you get so bombarded with side quests, you're like, where should I go? It doesn't matter. That's so great. Like that's the best part about these games. Fucking pick a direction and run into it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We sort of transitioned into the what makes a great Elder Scrolls game, what makes them so great, and I think that's like what we all can reach the consensus about, is that the fact that it's one of those games where there's the main point of the game, right? Like slay the dragon, rescue the princess, and I'm not saying that that's the point of the game, it's just the trope of the game, right? But in general, you can simply log in and play the game like you wanted to play.
You better speak for yourself before you clump me into your happy little, I love Skyrim party.
No, I'm just saying that's what made a good Elder Scrolls game.
It's like great at that point.
All right, so
I'm in the Thieves Guild. Woo!
It's more like, oh my god, I'm like killing so many things right now. God, I'm so good at this game. Like that's what it was like. I'm like, oh, there's a lever. Yeah, let's pull the lever. Yes, I bet that opens something. Where am I?
You're shooting electricity out of your ear. You're like, unlimited power.
So I wanted to read this Twitter story that kind of illustrated the point that I was just trying to make, and then I'll turn it over to Kai Leston and get her impressions of the game. This was a bunch of tweets from a person, Patrick Lenton, and I'm going to link it in chat real quick. And that's not the link to, that's just who I'm attributing it to. All right, so here we go, and it's quite the read, and I hope I can get through it all without falling over laughing. Okay. Worst part of Skyrim was when I found that dog whose owner died in a cabin. And then I, of course, had to adopt a dog because I'm not a monster. And I fucking love that dog, and I'm wandering around trying to solve quests and save the world and junk, but this good dog always tries to help out fighting giants and dragons, and it's like, don't hurt my dog! And I have to fight like 300% harder to save my dog from being eaten by a dragon, and I've honestly never been so anxious. So then I find out that I can build a homestead, and my dog can live there. So for the next 4 days of my life are building shit while bandits and dragons still attack my dog because I'm a bloody mining ore and building a goddamn solarium for my pooch. And then the dog won't stay in the house. And I discover that I have to adopt a child first, and then the child has to like my dog. So I go to an orphanage and to discover they are being mistreated by an evil woman. So I kill her. But then I can't adopt a child anymore because they are free. So I wander Skyrim looking for a parent-free child somewhere, which I know will be interesting to say the least, as I like to steal everything that's not. Oh, okay, hold on. Then finally, I find some girl begging in Whiterun, and she's like, "Thanks, Mom." And the person says, "I play a lady cat wizard." And then I discover that the girl won't move into my house because I didn't make a proper bed for her. So I decide to build a new house on a fucking lake because I figure that it'd be a good place to raise children or whatever. But first, I have to become Thane of Falkreath and do all of these quests to help poor people before they give me. I find some girl begging in Whiterun, and she's like, "Thanks, Mom." And the person says, "I play a lady cat wizard." And then I discover that the girl won't move into my house because I didn't make a proper bed for her. So I decide to build a new house on a fucking lake because I figure that it'd be a good place to raise children or whatever. But first, I have to become Thane of Falkreath and do all of these quests to help poor people before they give me a plot of land. And my dog is still following me around, and still nearly dying in every fight, and I am just a tense, scared motherfucker. Anyway, then I meet another goddamn dog on the road, but it's a fucking demon dog, and it comes with me too. And it's like months have passed by in the game. The world is being invaded by dragons, and I'm just too focused on real estate. Finally, I build my new lakefront house, and I go to find my daughter, who's been living on the streets for about 2 months. And it's like, literally, beggars can't be chooser. But because I didn't make her a nice bed, she sleeps on a bench in Whiterun. And she moves into my house, which is right next to a cave of wolves and necromancer's summoning circle. But whatever. And I walk into the house with my goddamn dog, waiting for her to adopt my dog so that I can go save the world. And she adopted a fucking rat. There's this gorgeous brave dog who just wants to settle down in front of a hearth, and she's flouncing around with a giant rat. In the meantime, I get married to a lady named Majol, the lioness, because she's hot to trot and will be a good lesbian mother. And weirdly, her quote friend, Erin moves into the house too, and it's like, do we have a polyamorous relationship and are raising our homeless daughter and her rat? Because that's cool. So I'm like, I'll go find a brother for my daughter and they can adopt the dog, hopefully. And it works out. The boy wants my dog likes the boy, and everything is fine, and the dog has been successfully adopted. And finally, I can go back to being the saver of Tamriel. Although I then discover that Majol's friend, Erin, keeps yelling at yelling stupid dog at my gorgeous dog. So I waited until he was outside, and I tried to make him fuck off back to his own house. My theory was that I could shout him into the lake. Anyway, I misjudged it, and I shouted him into the necromancer circle. And he died. And my wife saw me kill him.
And it's like this awesome, badass, like, warrior horse, and he's black, and he's gorgeous, and you can actually, like, choose to kill him and take the horse, even though it's kind of immoral. So obviously you guys know what I did. So I'm fighting this dragon.
Took the horror.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm fighting this dragon. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna kill my horse. But my horse actually is a badass, and was like, nay, motherfucker, and like punched him in the face with his hooves, and actually like finished off the dragon for me.
Yep.
Badass, like, warrior horse, and he's black, and he's gorgeous, and you can actually like choose to kill him and take the horse, even though it's kind of immoral. So obviously you guys know what I did. So I'm fighting this dragon.
Took the horror.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm fighting this dragon. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna kill my horse. But my horse actually is a badass, and was like, nay, motherfucker, and like punched him in the face with his hooves, and actually like finished off the dragon for me.
Yep.
Dude, I want my horse to be one of the horses that's like, nay, motherfucker, and smack you with a hoof.
I have so many screenshots of my horse being like, fuck you, dragon! Fuck you right in the face! And then just like smacking him in the face with his hooves.
The two best followers you can have in Skyrim are your horse and your dog. I'll tell you that right now. Your two best. Your horse will carry you places, and your horse will fight with you, and your dog is just your loving, caring dog, and they're your best followers.
So now that you know this,
Wait. The horse is Samuel L. Jackson. No,
Seriously,
fucker.
seriously, he is.
Oh my
Like,
god. Okay.
Normally, like, they would, like, run away and stuff. Like, normally horses would, like, run away and, like, come back after the fight or, like, go back to a stable or things like that. This horse was like, that! No! Shit's going down right now. Me, you, that dragon, rumble.
It's great when you get the demon horse from hell, the Hades horse. Like, it's all on fire and shit. It's got blue red eyes.
That horse got nothing on my horse.
Wait. What?
now she's all interested in Skyrim. Now she's like, wait, what?
The game's
There's a
deeper
demon
than
horse?
what it is. Yeah, there is a demon horse. The game's deeper than what it is. You have to play it. You can't always log in there's a big difference between like single player games and multiplayer games, where multiplayer games want you to get stuff as kind of quickly as possible most of the time, where single player games are like, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of work. A little bit.
Well, see, no, I wanted a horse, but I didn't want to pay for the horse, even though I stole everything that wasn't nailed down in that game. So I didn't want to pay for the horse. So I was like, how could I get a free horse? And then I was like, hey, there's a quest for a horse, and you can just kill the guy at the end and take the horse. So that's what I did.
Yeah, there's the demon horse is free. You just gotta do some things for it, but it's free. Old demony. I call her Buttercup.
So Kailas, your opinion on the Elder Scrolls and Skyrim?
I can't speak on Elder Scrolls. It's no. Skyrim is the only one that I played, and I just like to say I got less than 2 hours into that game and was like, nay, motherfucker. It felt like I was. It's the complaint that Tamlin has all the time. You go here, you do this thing, and then you have to, and there's no control, and I hate it. I'd like to be able to skip these things that it says I have to do.
You don't have to do them though. You, like I said earlier, you can just go pick a direction and run off and go.
No.
You can. The game says you have. The game says like, "Hey, we suggest you go do the main storyline." You're like, "All right, peace." You go run off a different direction. I'm gonna go do this because that's the beauty of those games. Like, you're not tied down to doing that, following that thing. You're not, absolutely not at all. You can. It's a choice. It's always a choice, but you don't have to level that way. You don't have to do anything. You can just pick a direction, run off in that direction, and go do those things in that direction. Whatever they are. You find a cave, you want to go in that cave and explore it, go ahead and do it. And the game's not stopping you.
So, could you tell me a little bit more about the you said that there was an infinite number of side quests, right? So there's some sort of algorithm for creating new side quests all the time for you to go and experience, right?
Yeah.
Does it reach a point where they get repetitive? Because I would love a game. One of the things that I like about Skyrim is that it really feels like it's not just a game. It's this world that you create on your game, and then you get to go and interact with the world the way that you would like to. But I have a feeling that even though at some point in time, wouldn't even the side quests get a bit repetitive?
Probably. It just depends, I guess. Like, sometimes they say, hey, go, like, what I guess it boils down to experiences. Like, how you experience the side quests. Like, will the side quest objective be this, hey, can you get me this book? Sure. Will your experience of the cave and that book be the same from the last time? Probably not. So I would look at it like that. Like, would your experience in each side quest be the same? Probably not. And that's really where the beauty comes. I'm not sure what's so funny. I'm not know what's going on. Just like, are we still talking about name, motherfucker? What's going on? Oh, jeez. All right. So, like I said, that's really what it depends on. Is really how you feel as, like, in MMOs where you get that, like, your daily quest, which is the repetitive, like, oh, what am I doing today? like those get repetitive because it's the same thing. Where Skyrim would say like, "Hey, can you go to this cave and get this book?" Where they may say, "Hey, can you go to this castle and get this book?" So it's same objective, but different enemies, different outcome. You may die. There may be traps in the cave where they're not traps inside. You may have to stealth into the castle to avoid as many enemies as possible if that's the route you want to take. Versus the cave where it's like it may be wolves. You may uncover something else in the cave. Like there's tons and tons of different things because the world is so open and things change in the world that I think it makes it different. Where things are static on an online world, where things are not static in the Elder Scrolls games.
Also, if you're doing the side quests while you're currently taking painkillers, sometimes you don't remember where you got the quests, and so it's like a fun choose your own adventure. Like choose which adventure and which part of the adventure, and oh my god, I just logged in. Why am I here? I don't remember this at all. What am I supposed to be doing? Let's just steal stuff.
Yeah, like the Nords should give you like, Luci, please go find the book for me. You're like, okay.
I'm like, I will totally find that chalice for you guys. No, book. Yeah, chalice. Got it. I'm going.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. May the lords of Tamriel put light shine light.
Also, one of the best things is like you're running through a cavern, right? And like there's these glowing mushrooms on the wall, so you stuff those in your pockets because you can make something out of that later. And then there's like these spider eggs, yeah, you shove those right in, it's fine. And then you get outside and like you pick up like an actual piece of loot, like, you know, a magic breastplate or something, and then you're like, you are encumbered and cannot run. I'm like, come on! I don't want to drop any of this stuff. This is all good. And now there's like a line of just like random crap all the way to the to the like nearest town. There's like apples and like cheese wheels and a couple swords behind you. It's just like a line of it as you're walking and throwing things out of your bags.
Carrying 8 pounds of bear meat. That's good bear meat. Delicious. Have you roasted it? So good. Nobody
of course,
knows
again, painkillers. So I'm like, where did I get all these bowls? Why do I have plates and cups?
Nobody knows the importance of butterflies. Nobody.
Actually, the last thing that I was doing before like I logged out to do the show was I was running around outside of Raywan being like, ooh, butterfly. Oh, got that one. That was in air. I am so good at this game.
Ooh, piece candy. Ooh, piece flower. Ooh, butterfly.
Purple mountain flower. Put that in my pocket.
Yeah. And and the best part is that when you level up and you're like, I need to be able to hold more shit, so you put stuff in the strength, so you don't get encumbered. So you're like this buff character walker.
That's not just Skyrim. I know other video games where your encumbrance is based on your strength, and so that's like one of the ways you kind of cheese the system. And like, man, I need to get stronger so I can carry more.
And hold more shit.
So moving
jacked
on.
up wizard.
So moving on, Skyrim is a game that's still getting tons of gameplay, I think. But the MMO that's out right now for the Elder Scrolls franchise is Elder Scrolls Online. It is currently $60 for the PC on Steam, but if you go to Amazon, if Gladys and I were talking about it just before the show, you can get Elder Scrolls Online for like $20. But it's not the Tamriel Unlimited Edition, so we're not actually sure what the difference is. But hey, if you're interested in $20 for Elder Scrolls Online, and there's no sub for it, you don't have to pay the sub fees. It is now a buy-to-play game. It is also available $30 on Amazon for the PS4 or Xbox One. The game does not get a lot of positive press, but it was the ranked best-selling game for the PlayStation 4 in the month of June 2015, and in the entire United States, it was the second and sixth best-selling game for June and July 2015, respectively. from my own experience, when we decided that we were going to do a show about the Elder Scrolls franchise, I said I can get Elder Scrolls Online or I can get Skyrim. Which should I get? And people unanimously said Skyrim. I don't know it. Why not Elder Scrolls Online?
Well, ZeniMax would probably be my answer. I heavily played the beta with Tobrin. We had that lovely scene on the boat, the front bow of a boat where
you didn't give me that screenshot. I could have thrown it up.
I'd have to ask him for it. I think one of us took it, and I don't know if I have it. One of us has it. I would have asked him. He probably has it.
So which one of you is Jack?
I think I was Jack. I'm really he's a small spoon in that relationship. If everybody really wants to know how that works. He called me. I don't know if you saw Twitter the other day. He called me daddy. Just saying.
Wait,
He did.
He did.
Who did?
Tobrin. I said something, and he was like, "Yes, daddy." I was like, "Oh, jeez." I think we're Twitch's power couple. We just don't know. No, Twitch doesn't recognize it yet.
I think that's bullshit. They should recognize your bromance.
I think they should too. We played it. I played whatever the Dragon Knight class is. The game is weird. It's so because I'm so used to Elder Scrolls being like you could be whatever you want to like, hey, these are your classes that you can pick and then you can go do the things you want, kind of. The game had a hope. Now that the game's been out a while, it looks like they finally are starting to add the stuff that makes Elder Scroll games, like the Thieves Guild and the Imperial City, like stuff that should have probably been in there, but since it's an MMO, they're going to release it. Now you can have one of two ways to get this stuff. Now there's DLC packs you have to pay for, or so it's because it's free, so you just pay for the DLC pack and get it. So it's kind of like what's that game that came out that's kind of like it's set in like a Lovecraftian horror setting? Anybody?
Wait, what kind of game are we talking about?
It's an MMO. It's like set in a modern day era, but it's set with like a Lovecraftian kind of like
Secret
World.
Secret World.
So it's like that where you can buy like the content. You buy like it's pieced out. Like you can just buy content, or if you're subscribed, you can get it. You get it for free, which is probably the better deal, honestly. Would I play it for $20 if it got me the content included? Probably, because I'd probably want to join the Thieves Guild and not pay for it. But I just don't know what comes with what and what's offered with what's it. Which is kind of the thing. ZeniMax probably did an okay job. At the end game is there's no dungeon. There's dungeons in the game, but the end game is PvP. So it's like Guild Wars in that sense. So I mean, if you're looking for something that if you're a fan of the Elder Scrolls series and you want something that quenches your thirst for PvP and then a game, it's probably you're looking at the Elder Scrolls Online if you're not a big fan of the Guild Wars series. That's what I would probably look like. But the reason why it's probably not getting a great press is probably because it had a bad start. Just like any other MMO that has a bad start, it doesn't get great press. Not every MMO can do a second coming like certain MMOs. But I think they did a bad job with Tamriel Unlimited? No, I think they made an okay transition. I think the best idea was to go buy to play instead of free to play. I think free to play. As I said before, I think you concentrate too much on trying to create stuff not only for the shop that people can buy, but also stuff that you have to create for in-game players. But if you do something that's piecemeal, like DLC, where regardless if your players are getting it on, you're paying for monthly, or if you're getting it via free, you're like everyone's getting the same content. So it's like you're only choosing to lock yourself out if you don't buy it. So I'm not sure how much it costs, and I can probably find that out, and I will link, tell you that price in chat. But I would say the reason why I got bad press is that ZeniMax had total control. They got Bethesda okayed the license, and I think that since they started adding the stuff that made it more Elder Scrolls like, I think that as it moves forward, we'll see a better game. But as most reviewers give games chances, it just depends on like expansions
Right.
telling us.
Yeah, so in preparation for the show, a lot of the news that I was reading was that the launch for Elder Scrolls Online was shaky, but because it's been out now for almost 2 years, that they have worked out a lot of the instability issues, the bugs, and everything like that, because it's been out for a year. And so I'm saying that if now is probably a better game than it was. Unfortunately, a lot of reviewers, they review a game and then they move on and they never, like update and say what all is going on with the game. I think that this, like normally we wait for it to answer questions until the end, but now is almost the perfect time to get into this question from Legendary Neurotoxin. Instead of going full MMO, should Bethesda have approached coordinated online multiplayer for Elder Scrolls and Fallout first? And I would have said, yeah, I've heard from more than one person that has said that that a multiplayer Fallout or Elder Scrolls would probably be like a no-brainer. Like, give this to me. I would like to play it. And I think that in next week, when we talk about the Dragon Age franchise, they did something like that in that Dragon Age Inquisition has a limited multiplayer aspect of the game, but it's not like an MMO. It's like you playing with 2 or 3 of your other friends.
Yeah, I mean, there is a mod for Skyrim that's out. And it allows multiplayer. So it I don't know. Like, does the mod work? Yes, absolutely. Have I tried it? Yes. Does it work great? Sure. That's probably one of Bethesda's benefits. Like, as a company, they allow mods for their games. So sometimes you don't need to create the multiplayer in-house. Sometimes you just say, hey, listen, guys, we did all this work, but you're welcome to here's our assets and here's our game. You're welcome to go ahead and do whatever you want. If you want to open up a multiplayer for it, go ahead. And they did. People did. And it works phenomenally. It works great. Is it perfect? No, but getting to modders and stuff later, like the future, well, like I can't use it as a segue, yeah, but I'll talk about like what Bethesda allows us to do as people, and especially the modding community. But it's totally possible. I think it's viable. If you let your community allow it, then they can make it. Sure, why not? It'd be cool if they did it in-house, but if it take away time from making their game better, I would rather see them make better, like put more content into the game and better content, and then let us as people or modders take control and like let them add a modding or a multiplayer aspect to the game if they wanted it.
All right. Last thoughts on Elder Scrolls before we move on to the last little tangent, or not tangent, but talking point.
My only thing is that I wish that their character models and their animations were a little bit better, a little bit prettier. I mean, I hate to say it, but when I'm playing a game, I want to feel like I can relate to my character, like my character is cool and my character is interesting, and I want her to be like, or him, though I rarely ever gender bend. I want my character to be just like visually very appealing. I want her to look the way I want her to look for her story, and I want her to just, I don't know, be a visual representation of her story. And it's really hard for me to get into Elder Scrolls games because I don't feel like I can really do that.
Right. So the last thing that we wanted to talk about was the future of the Elder Scrolls franchise. One of the things that we know for 100% absolute certainty is that they have announced a collectible card game called Elder Scrolls Legends. I'm going to play the trailer for you. You know what? We're kind of cramped for time. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm just going to link it for you in chat. All I'm going to say is that game developers must realize that if they have a good intellectual property that lots of people are interested in, that the return on investment to develop a collectible card game is really, really good. And so they do it. They make a collectible card game because the trailer that they have, and I'll link it in chat, you watch it after the show, it's kind of meh. It's kind of like, eh. I'm sure to people that like Elder Scrolls, they're going to be like, I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait to play it.
I like card games, so you got me already.
Right. Okay, so and then there's the other people that like card games, that'll be like, oh, so there's the World of Warcraft card game, there's the Hearthstone, there's Magic the Gathering, and now there's Elder Scrolls Legends, and then EverQuest has their variation on the same thing too.
Yeah, it's called
Right,
Legends of Norwrath.
I was gonna say, and it has the Legends keyword in it too. Now there. I'm going to throw it out there that there is absolutely nothing out there officially about a possible Elder Scrolls 6, either a sequel to Skyrim or the next in the Elder Scrolls franchise. People are saying that if there's going to be a big announcement, you expect it to be at E3 in June. And then the last bit, I'm going to turn it over to Flatus to talk about it since he brought it up. But I do have that video ready to go if you want me to play it.
Yeah, you could play. Yeah, play. There's voice and acting. I could talk over it if you mute it. You want to do that?
I'll turn it way down.
All right, cool. All right, so there is. So what I was talking about earlier is that Bethesda allows is very friendly to the modding community. They allow them to do a lot of cool stuff, and never say anything. Like they never say, "Hey guys, don't do that," unless it gets super risky. But actually, even with the risque stuff, they kind of let it go. Bethesda's cool that way. So they're so cool that they allowed this group. I'll put the link to the website in chat. They allowed this group to do remakes of for newer systems, the remakes of the Elder Scrolls games. And the first one they're doing is of course Morrowind, and they're calling it Skywind. So Skywind is a total remake of the Morrowind game. Visually, graphic wise, they're completely remaking it. They're also doing sounds. They need people. They need help. So if you're in chat and you're interested in helping, if you're looking at getting into game design, or this is something you're working towards for college and you're looking to get like some sort of work headed of the role or anything like that, like maybe look into this because they really do need help right now with sound, getting sound into the game. But if you look, they're adding brand new engine, brand new graphics, and I think that's such a cool idea. That Bethesda's like, listen, we've already made our games, we made the money off our games, and we are totally cool with you guys if this is a passion project for fans and you guys want to do this and release it out for free, by all means do it. And then they're allowing them to do that. I think that's totally awesome. I think that's so cool that a company is saying, you know what, guys, you're so passionate about our product that we are cool with you guys completely redoing it and putting it out there. And it looks great. Like, it looks phenomenal. And I cannot wait for this to be released because I will gladly replay Morrowind in new graphics any day of the week. I think that the fact that they're going to redo Oblivion and Skyrim eventually once they're done with this one, the next project after this, boom, they're going to hop into the Oblivion, and then they're going to hop into Skyrim. And that's what their plans are, and Bethesda's totally cool with it. I think it's one of those things where it's like, where company says, hey, listen, we're totally cool with you guys doing this. There's nothing against it. Like we talked about last week with Blizzard and Nostralis, or Nostralis, or whatever the name is, saying like, hey, listen, no, can't do that. Even though it was a passion from the fans, they never collected money to do it, and it was something that, like, we understand. Like, I know there's copyright laws and it's not legal, but like when a company says, hey, listen, you know what, this is cool, totally do it. Like, as much as like we have a Tanlin saying do better, I think this is a one time where I think Tanlin, maybe even myself, would say this is a do right. This is a company doing right by their fans and saying like, listen, go ahead, go ahead and do it, because we know you guys love our product, and you will support us when new stuff comes out. So I go for it. Completely go for it. I think you guys should show them support. If you guys are in chat and you're down for helping them code or helping them get into maybe even community management, like maybe they need someone to like help them run the community over there. You don't know, like, just say, hey, like, what do you guys need? Like, I may not code, but can I, do you guys need community management, forum moderators? Yeah, I'm really good at Twitter. Like, do you guys need like somebody on Twitter, like, to help you like post updates? You never know what you guys can help with and be a part of something. So this is a huge undertaking, because a game that massive does take a lot of work and a lot of man hours, and it's completely done for free. So I think that's kind of awesome. So please, by all means, go check it out when it's ready. Of course, we'll let you know here at Loot Table, and you guys can go download it. I will probably download it as well. And free is cool. Free when it's a great game and it's backed by the company's even better. So, so I'm glad to see that. Oh, and hopefully we'll hear about a new Elder Scroll games at
Over the past year.
Anything else?
Nay, motherfucker.
No.
So that video is almost 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I only showed like 5 minutes of it, but so go to the link, check it out, if that is your thing.
The 3D modeling department is.
They need voice actors.
I'll do the horses.
Right? They need voice actors, guys. Come on. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? You get to be a voice actor in a game. Like, even if it's so cool.
Right, so that was it for the Elder Scrolls. I'm going to turn it over right now to our closing thoughts. Before I get to our closing thoughts, we rotate our background every week, as Flatus mentioned before. The background that we are currently showing, it looks like this. It is from Skyrim. And I will link really quick to where we found it on DeviantArt from an author creator named Maloney. So guys, closing thoughts on the Elder Scrolls.
It's good stuff. I mean, it's really good stuff. It really is. It's a great game series. I think Bethesda does amazing work with a lot of their games. And as a company, they do a lot of fun stuff. I remember when Skyrim came out that they said if anybody named their kid Dovahkiin, that they would give them a lifetime supply of Bethesda games. And some guy named his kid Dovahkiin.
I think it's his middle name, but it counted.
It still counted, and sure enough, he got every single game in Bethesda's library up to that point, and he gets every single game from Bethesda from here on out. And I think that's cool. I think Bethesda really believes in their product, and I think they're one of the few game companies that truly listen to their fans, and it supports their modding community and supports their groups. And is it the game for everybody? No, I don't think it is. But do I think that it's a fun game, and does it play on those role-playing tropes, and can you do anything you want? Absolutely. And I think that's fantastic. And I'm excited to see where they take the game on this new generation of consoles and computer graphics, and see where they go with there. So
I want to applaud all of us that we have been doing the show now for over an hour, and not once did one of us mention I used to be until I took an arrow to the knee.
We didn't. Who used to be Evercast and took me to the knee? I'm sorry.
So I always got keep your hands to yourself, sneak thief.
Yeah. It's always better.
I was like, you don't know my life.
If that's it for the closing thoughts, we can go right on into the extras.
My only closing thought is that I just wish that the character models were better. Like if you get like just a little prettier, just like this much.
A lot.
Yeah, like I said, the high res graphics helps. But if they release a new game, I guarantee it's going to look a lot better than it did. I mean, when that game was released, it was probably the best on the market.
So I also wanted, you guys mentioned that the guy who got a lifetime subscription, a lifetime supply of Bethesda games for naming his kid's middle name Dovahkiin. There was also the guy who bought Fallout 4 for bottle caps.
He bought the game in bottle.
Yeah.
He had bottle caps or some 1,000 of them or whatever, and he offered to give them to Bethesda for Fallout 4, and they said, like, for you,
Sure.
one time, first person, yes.
Smart. See, that's what I'm talking about. Bethesda knows how to treat their people. You can learn something, Blizzard.
And so I think that's like the perfect time to prompt this next do better. Blizzard, 2 weeks in a row, do better. For those that are catching the show for the first time, or just a little, this is what do better is about. It's not necessarily a flame or a troll or a rant at a video game company. It's more of a, hey, I see that you're trying to do something, but it looks like you missed. It looks like what you were trying to achieve, you failed to achieve, or it just doesn't make any sense. And therefore you need to do better. My do better this week, going towards World of Warcraft, based upon the forum post from Watcher Dev, who is one of the lead developers for Warcraft. And the reason why is because garrisons were not exactly popular in World of Warcraft, but garrison missions probably even more so. We thought that this would be a one-time expansion, like, oh, well, crap. We've got garrison missions in Warlords of Draenor, and they're not optional. You cannot achieve your legendary ring without doing your garrison, and it kind of sucks because you have to. But we thought that it was a one-time expansion thing until they put them in Legion. So in the next expansion, we're going to have garrison missions again. Garrison missions Part 2. And the reasoning that Blizzard gave for putting them in is that they wanted to give a reward for people to play offline. You play and then you log off, and then when you log back in, yay, you're rewarded for it. And in my opinion, there is no room for a role-playing game to reward you for not playing the game. I understand that there are certain, like, you have daily cooldowns and daily quests, which means that you've done as much as you can today. You have to log off, and then when tomorrow you log in, you can do it again. But garrisons, like, I have characters that are just phenomenally geared with raid gear that have never left their garrison because the garrison will reward you with raid gear. And I just think that it flat out sucks. And I think that Blizzard should have known better, and they should do better.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more. I could absolutely not agree with you more. I think Blizzard has dropped the ball. I mean, it's not only us. Like, I don't want you to think, like, I know last week, and I said it last week too. Am I the perfect person to talk about Blizzard and World of Warcraft? No, I fell out of love. But am I the only person that feels that way? Absolutely not. There are people content creators on YouTube and Twitch that make their living off of World of Warcraft and are upset and voicing their concerns about this. And if you go and watch Heels versus Babyface, WoW Krendor, tons and tons and tons, and there's a list. There's a long list of people, and I can link them all. People are upset, and it's not great. It's just not. It's, people have made their livings off this game, and you want the game to succeed as long as possible, right? Like, we did and I can use this as an example. We did a podcast about an MMO, right? We wanted that MMO to do well. We wanted it to succeed. We wanted it to come out, and not like the aftermath wasn't great. Did we get something out of it? Yeah, like the Phoenix, like, all right, like, we got Loot Table, and that's great. but we didn't make money off EverQuest. We didn't make money off of Evercast, but those people do. So they're super concerned about like, will this game sell? Are we going to lose more people? Once people lose interest, my viewership goes down. What do I do next? So you can be concerned and be like, what the fuck is going on over there? And then the best part is when they voice concerns and as a whole the community like voice their concerns, and the reply is like, well, you don't want, like, we know what you guys want. You don't think you want it, but we're gonna give it to you anyway. They said the same thing about the vanilla servers. It's like, you guys don't want a vanilla server. Fuck you, we want a vanilla server. Like,
I know.
like,
And again, like that was a bit of going back to last week, and like ignore nostalgia at your own risk. And then I was also thinking a bit about how there are shows that are in reruns while simultaneously in syndication, right? So they're in reruns and syndicated at the same time. So it's not like it's a bad thing. But
no, and remember, I gave you an option, like Blizzard. If Blizzard was so concerned about opening a vanilla server, I said, when you have a content lull, right? Let's say 3 months after you release your last raid patch, right? And like you figure 3 months is a good amount of time for any world first group to get through it, and maybe medium core group to get through it. Like, and if you're casual, you've probably done at least LFR at that point, right? So you're done. 3 months is a good time. And then say at that point you release a vanilla server, and that's your content gap between you and your next expansion. I guarantee you'll still have people logged in. They'll still they'll give you money to say like, listen, I'm willing to pay you for vanilla, and it's cool. And just say, hey, listen, the release cycle for the next expansion for Cat or Burning Crusade will be after our next release. It keeps them logged in. It keeps people playing. Like, it's not that hard. Like, why would you rather have droughts and like nobody playing and being really pissed off about like, well, I guess we're doing the same raid again. There's nothing else to do in the game besides like do garrison missions, collect gold, and pay for this sub via gold. Like,
they just stopped logging in.
Yep.
So. I know all about that. So we have one question, and then we need to really move on towards wrapping up the end of the show. We normally only go for an hour, but almost every time we end up at about like an hour 15, hour 20. So the question is, would vanilla servers be considered abandonware if Blizzard said they'll never go back? And I would say that Blizzard probably has good lawyers, and their lawyers will say no.
I don't understand. We're human beings, and the people who work for for games are human beings. So I would like for the human beings who make my game to be able to say, we were wrong. You guys want this? Let's give it to you.
And Blizzard has admitted that they were wrong before, because they wanted not to put Flying in Draenor in the game. That was their decision, and that's what they said. And then they got so much feedback that they were like, you know what? We can put it in the game. You guys want it in the game. We'll put it in the game.
I have a feeling it's going to be their 25 years of Blizzard, and they're going to go like, wait for like BlizzCon this year, and they'll be like, well, you guys wanted vanilla. Guess what you're getting? Vanilla. I guarantee that's what it's going to be. Like, after Legion's already come out, like they're going to wait till like after, like, because right now they're kind of blowing their load on Legion. like they brought back Illidan. They gave you Demon Hunters. People have been wanting that for years. Like, they're kind of blowing their load. Lost Isles. What else are they giving us? The Emerald Dream. Like, everything that you could want in a World of Warcraft expansion is in this one expansion. So like, what the fuck is next? Like we're going back to vanilla.
All right. So that wraps up our Do Better segment. A quick reminder on our schedule. Next week, we are talking about the Dragon Age franchise. We have a community guest that should be joining us. All things technical working out on her end. And as soon as I lock in that our community guest has like all like the webcam and a microphone and can connect with us, then I'll go ahead and announce that on Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. Hold on. Before I move on, next week Luci will not be here with us. She'll be having more fun.
Well, I'll be driving back from PAX East, but yes.
Then the week after that, on May 1st, we will be talking about Chronicles of Ilaria. If last week, if you caught the podcast, our background was from that game. Somebody emailed us and said, "Hey, you guys should talk about that." And we're like, "Hey, good idea. Maybe you should come on." So again, once we work out the arrangements with the community guests, we'll talk about bringing them on. So May 1st, we're talking about Chronicles of Ilaria, and that is to kick off their Kickstarter, which starts on May 3rd. So Flatus, you want to do the last little bit of
Yeah.
reminding people where they can find us, and then go ahead and camp us out.
Absolutely. All right. Listen, we do not ask for money for this show. We fund this from ourselves, but we do ask you to do one thing: share us. Share us with a friend, share us with an enemy. I do not care, but share us with somebody that you think will enjoy the show. If you cannot catch us live, you can catch us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, in the future, Google podcasting, as soon as that's live. Download us, give us thumbs up on Stitcher, give us the stars on iTunes, leave a review, please. That stuff helps us so much. We get noticed that way. If you guys listen, I will honestly take a review, and you guys giving us stars and thumbs up, or even the 1 star. I don't care, 1 to 5 stars. Give us a star what you feel is we're worth, and leave a review and tell us what we can do better or what we're doing great at, and we'll keep doing it. And that's how we do better.
And speaking of, we just rechanged our format, going from the Evercast show over to Loot Table, and I have been doing my best to make sure that all of the RSS feeds for our podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, they're all working. If you have any technical problems, go ahead and shoot me an email or message me on Twitter, and let me know so that I can fix that, because on my end everything looks great, but I don't know, because there's like thousands of devices out there, different whatever, and I need to make sure.
So yes, please go do that. If you're one of the few people that listen to catch us, please do that. Leave a review. Type potato somewhere in the thing, so I know you heard this. And you can do that, and that would make my heart flutter with so much excitement and love, and I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you all. And that would be you can find us at loottable.net, and we have a blog there, and you can find all of our hosts at Luci. Actually, our end thing tells you all that information, so I'm going to let our end thing tell you that. So for Flatus and the rest of the crew, for myself and everyone else here at Loot Table, thank you for stopping by and talking Elder Scrolls with us, and hope you had fun at the Loot Table. And I'm going to count us out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you all next week for Dragon Age.
Thanks for listening. Send us an email at contact@loottable.net. You can contact our host on Twitter. Kyless is at Blood Knight Kai. Lucity is at Lucity. Tanlin is at Tanlin, and Flatus is at Flatus. Loot Table is a Desert Rain Studio Productions. Music is provided by MDK. Find him and more of his music at soundcloud.com/MDKofficial. Thanks for joining, and game on, adventurers.